Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Before we get into the recap today, I want to remind everybody tomorrow, January the 18th at 5 p.m. Pacific time, which is 7 p.m. Central time, which is 8 p.m. Eastern time. We will be doing a YouTube live stream. And when I say we, I mean me and you. I want all your comments. Let's talk about the events from last live recap until now, all the exciting things that have happened, because there have been some things that have happened. And we'll also talk about where we think they're going to go with certain storylines. So I look forward to speaking with you all, reading your comments live tomorrow. Be there. Now, today was an okay day. uh, I'm going to jump to the good stuff first. The good stuff is Tracy gets arrested. Drew has her arrested. See, Drew was talking to Martin at the PC Grill. He had a meeting to meet him there. No, he didn't have a meeting to meet him there. He spoke to him there because Martin was meeting with Jordan. And Jordan saw Cody talking to Drew, and Drew was like in Cody's face saying, "Yeah, you got nothing to blackmail me on now. What you gonna do? What you go?" And Jordan jumps up and says, "Gentlemen, not here, not here." And so she tells Cody, "You know what, Mr. Bell? I think you need to leave." And Cody's like, "Oh, gladly." He didn't want to be in Drew's company anyway, right? So Drew is like, could you believe that guy? And Jordan said, from where I stood, or from what I could see, you were the one trying to escalate the situation. And Drew looks at her. And then she goes on to say, talk about her being upset about what Drew. She goes, but then again, you're escalating a lot lately. A lot of these things, unlike you. And so he goes, oh, so I thought you might be on my side, but I see Curtis has filled you in on his take of the events, right? And so she goes, yes, Curtis has talked to me about what you tried to do to him. And he goes, what do you mean what I tried to do to him? What I tried to do to Curtis was I tried to give him an increase in pay, a hefty increase in pay. And how did he thank me? By helping Michael steal my company. And she goes, a hefty increase in pay. You mean a demotion, right? And he goes, look, the CEO job was never permanently Curtis's. And so Jordan said, you lied to him, Drew. Uh, I never lied to Curtis. He's just said, nope, I never lied to him. She says, Drew, you know, you led Curtis to believe that CEO job was his. And you know that. And then you turned right back around and offered it to Michael, not ever telling Curtis anything. Well, I was trying to make peace with Michael, but we all see how well that went. And she just looked at him. And he says, but, you know, as far as Curtis is concerned, I was going to do right by him. She says, if you really think that's doing right by somebody, she just shook her head. She was like, ooh, Lord. So she walked out on him. So he sees Martin at the bar and he goes up to Martin and he goes, look. And so Martin says, woo, Congressman, you really making a lot of fans of your constituents. And Drew says, look, we got to get Willow, your client's kids, back to her right away. And Drew says, yeah, but the Quartermains have Tracy Quartermain has deep pockets. She's a formidable opponent to try to come up against. And Drew says, oh, I know Tracy's weaknesses, and I have a plan. Or he said something, oh, he'll take care of it. So what Drew did was he called in a favor from a judge. Martin had wrote up the petition to have the kids placed in Willow's custody, right? And I was gonna call him Ryan. Drew got the judge to sign on it right away, like now. Okay. So Chase, although Chase had already tried to tell Tracy off, and Tracy pretty much put him in his place, saying, look, you know what? I really like you for my granddaughter. I really do. But stay out of it, Chase. And he goes, I'm just saying, Tracy, those children belong with their mother. And I was going to say, I'm sorry. But when they were taken from Nina's house, apartment, condo, who was there? Wasn't Chase one of the law enforcement folks there removing Willow's kids? Wasn't that Chase? I thought it was Chase, right? And now, oh no, now that you talk to Weeping Willow, you're seeing things so differently. Oh, Chase, shut up and sit down. And what Tracy was saying, she goes, you know what, Chase, you're involving yourself in something that really isn't your business. And so he's like, but Tracy, you have no right to keep the kids. And I'm thinking, the same right, Chase, that you were standing there when you took those kids from Nina's house. That same paper was still in effect. So what do you mean Tracy don't have a right? Carly had them taken there to the Quartermains. What do you mean Tracy had no right? Carly is busy at the hospital. The only reason Carly didn't have Michael's children taken to her house is she ain't even there, right? The nanny's watching her kid and Ava's. So anyway, Tracy, Drew goes, Trey, he comes in with the cops. And she goes, oh, here we go. And he goes, Tracy, we're here to take Willow's children. And Martin is there. And he goes, I have an official order signed by a judge granting custody of the kids back to Willow Corinthos. We're here to collect those kids. So she laughed. And so Drew standing there to the officer, go upstairs and get the kids. Right. So the officer's getting ready to turn, and Tracy laughed. She gets that, and he looks, she goes, that'll be a futile attempt. And Drew says, what do you mean? She goes, they're not here. And so Drew says, what do you mean they're not here? Where are they, Tracy? She goes, I have no idea. Now, if it's one thing Tracy Quartermain had an idea on, is what those kids ate for breakfast, what they ate for snack, the clothes they're wearing today, and where they are right at this moment. We all know she knew. They actually could have been upstairs. They really could have been. She just said they weren't. So Drew says, looked at the officer. Okay, she's in contempt of the order. Arrest her. So the officer walks around and Chase is standing there. And Brooklyn is there, right? Oh, and one point Brooklyn made before the cops got there, when she was talking to Tracy alone, she says, Tracy, or she may have called her Grams, whatever. She's Tracy. She says, I know you've been real close with Monica these days, checking in on her all throughout the day. She says, but I'll bet you haven't told her that Wiley and Amelia have been taken away from their mother. And Tracy just looked at her. She said, because Monica would not go for that. She says, you know as well as I know, Monica would feel, especially with Michael in the hospital, that those kids belong with their mother. Right? And Tracy just looked at her. She goes, well, they're here. The court order put them here. They're here. Right? So anyway, when Drew tells the officer, go arrest her, and Tracy looks, what? The officer takes his handcuffs out, and Chase looks, and Brooklyn's like, Chase. And Chase looks at the officer and says, look, there's no need for handcuffs. Right? So Drew said, handcuff her. Arrest her. And so he tries to put him on Tracy's arm. She goes, hey, what are you doing? Stop, right? Drew said, looks like resisting arrest to me. Add those charges to her, officer. And I was thinking, wait a minute. Drew's just a congressman. He's not a police commissioner. Last I checked, the police department and its officers do not answer directly to any congressman, right? We got the mayor, we got the deputy mayor, we have the police commissioner, we've got that law enforcement chain of command. Drew, just being a newly elected congressman, he is not over the police department. And for them to give him that power in today's episode, I was like, okay, I don't like that. Because that ain't how it goes. So the officer puts Tracy's hands behind her back and arrests, and handcuffs her. And Tracy looks at Drew and she said, you have made a big mistake. And I thought, get him, Tracy. You're doggone right. Because he puffed up there, standing up in front of the police, telling them what to do. And I said, ooh. So that tape is going to get leaked. Yeah, Tracy's going to do a full-fledged assault on Drew, and I hope she does. I really, Curtis will be right there cheering her on. So that's going to be good. That fight right there is going to be really, really good. Now, everybody answer me this. How is Sidwell just walking around like he owned Port Charles? Even using his name, Jen Sidwell? Now, the WSB has him on one of their most wanted. Now, Anna Devane has him on a list because Sidwell kidnapped Sasha, tried to blow her up in a warehouse in Port Charles. That man has some outstanding charges up against him. And he free as a bird and walking around. Came into Ava Jerome's gallery. Oh, I just happened on your lovely gallery and I acquired some property here and I want to redecorate to my taste. Now, Spoon Island ain't been redecorated in years. Okay, yeah, come on now. Only thing you gonna do is slap a couple of paintings up and call it redecorated, right? So Rick is there because he's talking. Ava had summoned him there, saying, "I want you to petition for me to have custody of Avery now. Avery's in danger." And Rick is like, "It's too flimsy a case, Ava. Avery wasn't even there. Avery is at Carly's house. where she has her own room, he says, and where she was practically raised. You know? And she goes, then I'll get another attorney that could do what I want. She goes, yeah, you could try. He said, but they're going to tell you exactly what I'm telling you. The case is not, no judge is going to now reverse a custody order because of a fire in someone's house. See, it's interesting. I guess it's called a fire because they haven't the actual bomb. It burned everything so clean they can't say it was a bomb, right? Right now it's a suspicious fire. And guess what? The PCPD never solves anything. So it's gonna be a suspicious fire until Jason figure it out. Because Brennan already knows what it is. Oops, that's one of our top secret weapons. You know? So anyway, he's like, you need something stronger. Just wait, Ava. Wait. The right time for you to take Avery is coming. Just wait. So that's when Jens walks in and he ends up buying this painting. I don't appreciate art. I'm just gonna tell you that. Because I looked at that thing and said, what the heck is that? But anyway, the one she showed him is the one he wrote a hefty check for, and he told her he would like her to come out to Spoon Island to give him some suggestions on exactly where he should mount it, and also some suggestions on other pieces. And so she goes, "Wait, Spoon Island?" He goes, "Yes." So you bought Windermere? And he goes, "Uh-huh." And he goes, "You know it?" He goes, she says, "I used to live there." He goes, "Then may I ask, why would you leave such a beautiful house, home?" "Oh, it was a divorce." And but she goes, "Long story, blah, blah, blah." Now, Rick is just looking and listening to all this. Rick is not buying everything Sidwell is dishing out because guess what, everybody? This is one key point in all of this. Sidwell bought Spoon Island in Windermere, or Windermere and Spoon Island is the land it sits on, from Ava Jerome. So it wasn't no accident. He knew Ava Jerome owned that gallery, and he knew Ava Jerome is who he bought that property from. She, on the other hand, he used an alias shell company to buy Spoon Island with. So she didn't know the buyer, but he sure the heck knew the seller. Her name was all over the paperwork. And I'm thinking, she bought that? That he had no clue? And that gallery's called the Jerome Gallery, and you introduce yourself as Ava Jerome. Come on now. You need to wonder what's his motives. Because Rick is standing back there like, So after business was done, he reaches down and he grabs her hand and he kisses her hand. And she's like, oh, why do women do that? To me, Sidwell oozes sleaziness, oozes you can't trust him for some reason, oozes he must be up to something, right? Something ain't right with him. And so when he walked out, Rick walks over to Ava and she's like, ooh, she still has his check in her hand. Rick reaches over, takes that check and puts it in his pocket. And she looks at him. She goes, hey, he goes, no, no, no. This here is only part of what you owe me. You know, he's like, and it was good to see you in action. She says, if there's one thing I know how to do is close a deal. He's thinking, okay, well, you go close some more of them deals, right? Because you owe me big time. So that was that. Now we got Willow. She called over. The last minor thing is Cody gives Luke, not Luke, Cody gives Brad the $50,000 check that he owes Selena, but see, Selena's interest was $5,000. And it must be 5,000 a day. Watch. Watch. And Brad, he goes, I need you to give this to your aunt. And Brad said, look, I brokered the deal for you. That's it. He goes, look, just give it to your aunt. And Lucas was looking, right? And Brad says, sees Lucas. He goes, fine, fine. He puts it in his pocket. He goes, but he opens it. He goes, you're $5,000 short. Cody said, I'm good for it. And Brad just looks at him and he's like, you getting yourself kneecap deep into my aunt, but that's on you. You used to work for her too. Now, everybody, could Cody be that broke? He has no living expenses. And the Quartermains are not paying him pennies at all. They're paying him very well. And he has free food. Cody was saving up money because remember he wanted to buy that or that sanctuary, make it a horse, that property, and make it a horse sanctuary. He had some money, but nowhere near what he needed for it. So you trying to tell me Cody didn't have $5,000 saved up when you have no living expenses? There's something wrong with that because he hadn't been gambling. I think they just don't want us to think, right? So anyway, let's get to the good stuff. The good stuff is Willow called Carly and Sonny over. And as she reminded them first who is in control of Michael's medical, she said, bottom line, Michael would not want me to keep you away from him during this time, his time of need. He needs the support of his parents. And I know that. And so Carly's like, look, Willow, I know you think we reneged on the deal, but we tried to get Tracy to turn over the children. Sonny said, I tried. And Carly's like, and I tried. And she goes, the children right now are a separate subject than what Michael needs right now. And I know that. And I know he needs his parents. So Portia came up and she wanted to discuss with Willow Michael's, long-term care. And she goes, do you want to talk in my office? And Willow says, no, Carly and Sonny, they could hear this. So Portia says, okay, they want to transfer Michael to Johns Hopkins Hospital. They're U.S., they're world renowned known, for their work with skin graft burn care. And so Willow says, okay, I know Johns Hopkins. They do have an excellent reputation. And Carly says, I have another idea. And Sonny's looking at her, and Portia and Willow look at her, and she tells them about the clinic in Germany. They are world renowned with burn victims and scar removal. Michael could be made whole. And Portia says, I haven't heard about this place, so I can't recommend it. And Willow says, I've never heard about it too. And you want to send Michael all the way to Germany where none of us could be with him? And Carly says, no, I'll go with him and I will be with him every day. And I'm thinking, what about your kid, Carly? What about Donna? Right? So Willow says, I don't know. And Sonny says, Sonny said, Carly, can we? She goes, look, Jack Brennan from the WSB got a spot for Michael at this clinic. It's exclusive. And so that's what Sonny said, Carly, can I talk to you? So they go to the side and he goes, why would you go to Jack Brennan and the WSB with this without coming to me first? She said, because I didn't know, Jack didn't know if he could even get a spot for Michael. So I didn't want to say anything until I knew there was a spot secured for Michael. And she goes, Sonny, It's the same doctor that worked on Ava's face. And Sonny just looked at her. He said, but I don't know. She goes, I don't know. Whatever. So they end up back with Willow. And Carly has said, listen, I know it's far away, but this place is, the work is just astonishing. And so Portia said, but like I said, I haven't heard of this place. So she goes, yeah, but you've seen the results of their work. And Portia said, what? And Willow says, she goes, and you have too, Willow. And she says, wait, what? She goes, Ava Jerome. She had third-degree burns on her body and on her face. You can't tell today that she did. There's no scarring. And it was because of this doctor. Michael, she goes, Michael deserves to be made as whole as he can. And this place can do it. And so Willow said, I don't know. And so they look at Sonny. Willow says, Sonny, what do you think? He said, I can't make this decision. She goes, he says, Michael needs to make the decision. And Portia looked like, what? And Willow said, for Michael to make a decision, we're going to have to wake him up. And Portia says, and he'll be in a lot of pain. And so Sonny said, a decision this important, it needs to be Michael's. So Carly looked at them and Carly was like, wake him up. So Willow looked at Portia, Portia looked at Willow, and she's like, yeah, wake him up. So she says, okay, Portia says, but only one of you can go in to talk to Michael. And Willow knew it better not be her skinny behind, her cheating behind, right? Send him in cardiac arrest, seeing her. So Sonny says, oh, that should be Carly. You know, his mother. See, that's something only a mother could get in there and convey and get his answer. Right? So Carly's in and Michael wakes up and he's in a lot of pain. And she says, listen, I know you're in a lot of pain. Your father's here. We're here. We love you, but we need your help, Michael. We need to know what you want us to do. So we didn't get into the conversation today with Michael, but Michael's gonna choose to go away, of course. Or look, even if Michael chooses John Hopkins, you know what Carly's gonna say? Oh, he chose Germany. That's Carly. Carly will say, no. He chose to go away because he wants to be made whole. That's what I do. So anyway, that's it, everybody. I'm not going to do comment corner today because we're going to all talk tomorrow. So if you can be on tomorrow, remember, it's going to be right here on YouTube at 5 p.m. Pacific time, which is 7 p.m. Central time, which is 8 p.m. Eastern time, live streaming here. If you are not subscribed to this YouTube channel, subscribe right now. So this way, when I go live, you're going to receive a notice, but you'll receive a notification if you also touch that notification bell there. That way you'll get a notification that I'm going live. You're going to see all of that and you'll be able to participate because it's all about comment corner. We're going to be talking to each other, everybody. So I will see you all tomorrow.